The night Cairo Leon walked into Obsidian with Amina on his arm, the entire underworld froze. Whispers spread like wildfire. The king has a weakness. But they were wrong. Cairo didn't bring her to show love. He brought her to show power. 3 days earlier, his entire Shanghai shipment vanished, hijacked from the inside. Someone in his billion-dollar empire wanted him dead, and Amina, the dancer he fell for, was the only one smart enough to trace the betrayal back to his own table. But power comes with enemies. And the moment she stepped into his spotlight, the deadliest woman in Cairo's organization, Seo Yan, decided Amina had to go. This isn't just romance. This is war in heels, secrets in boardrooms, and blood beneath golden lights. Welcome to the world where love isn't a weakness. It's the most dangerous weapon, and if this is your first time here, make sure you watch part 1 to dive into the full story. Don't forget to hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more breathtaking Afro-Korean mafia stories.
It was 3 a.m. in Cairo's second penthouse overlooking Seoul. The phone rang. Min Jae's voice cut through. "Boss, the Shanghai shipment is gone. All of it," he announced. Regret clung to his voice. Cairo sat up. Amina slept beside him, an island of calm while his hands shook. His chest tightened watching her breathe. 3 months ago, she was just a dancer at Crescent Blue. Now, she became his obsession, and obsessions in his world had a price. "Gone how?" he asked, pressing the phone to his ears. "The convoy was hit. Whoever did this knew exactly where we'd be. Down to the minute." Cairo's jaw clenched. Someone inside. But he didn't know who yet. "I want a name by sunrise," he commanded, then ended the call and stared at Amina. For one dangerous moment, he considered sending her away before his world devoured her. But even the thought made something violent twist in his chest. She stirred, turning toward him. "Cairo? What's wrong?" she asked. "Nothing. Sleep." But Amina saw through him. She always did. Her palm hovered, then traced the scar at his jawline. A tiny grounding ritual that steadied him. "Tell me the truth. Just once." He stared at her. For the first time in years he told someone everything. When he finished, Amina sat up, moonlight painting her skin silver. Her fingers smelled faintly of expensive fragrances. "This would be someone inside your organization. This isn't external. They're close to you." "You think so?" She moved closer, wrapping herself around him like armor. "You would get to the root of it," she said casually. Cairo smirked and reached for a bottle of whiskey, but then Cairo held him back. Cairo's heart hammered. 3 months. That's all it took for this woman to replace whiskey and cigarettes, and the numbness that kept him breathing. "If you go deeper," he warned, voice rough, "there's no coming back. You'll see things that'll haunt you." Her fingers tangled in his hair, forcing eye contact. Those brown eyes held no fear, only fire. "Then ruin me, but you must reduce with the drinking," she said jokingly. He crushed his mouth to hers like he was swallowing light, everything held in one violent, trembling press. When he pulled back, his forehead pressed to hers. "You're mine, Amina." Pause. "Every breath. I'm yours." He searched her eyes and found only fierce determination. She had no idea what she was asking for, or what it would cost. "Tomorrow, the whole underworld will know you belong to me," Cairo said, nodding. "Good." Her smile was dangerous. "We see to it then," she said, laying back in his arms. The morning was greeted with an emergency meeting at Leon Global Consortium. 23 people who controlled billions in legitimate business and trillions in shadows. Every division head, every lieutenant, every person who'd killed for Cairo Leon. Amina walked in wearing the black suit he'd chosen. Professional, powerful, and on her finger, a black diamond that caught the light like frozen fire. Cairo rose and planted a palm on the back of Amina's chair like a claim staked in the room. "You all know Amina Dubé as someone who worked here," he said, voice slow and cold. "That changes today." Confused murmurs rippled around the table. He didn't let them settle. "Effective immediately. Amina is Chief Operating Officer. She answers to no one but me. Her authority sits one rung below mine." His gaze swept the room hard as a blade. If any of you undermines her, disrespects her or threatens her safety, you answer to me. Directly. Silence fell like a verdict. He dropped his hand to her shoulder, possessive and unmistakable. She is mine. Untouchable. Is that understood? Yes, sir. Kairo leaned to her ear. Show them why you deserve this. Amina stood, pulling up a presentation on the screen. Her voice was steady, commanding. The Shanghai loss wasn't random. I analyzed 3 years of data last night. She clicked and a spiderweb of routes lit up. Companies, phantom invoices, and a single reroute to Shanghai. Someone has been bleeding us for 18 months. Tiny cuts. Perfect timing. She paused, letting her eyes scan the room. In her mind, the pattern played out like dominoes. Invoices processed at 2:14 a.m., always on Tuesdays, always the same ghost account in Hong Kong. The same digital signature buried in 16 layers of transfers. The leak came from inside this room. Someone here rerouted the Shanghai shipment into enemy hands. The tension became suffocating. Who was it? I don't know who yet. But I will. Her smile was ice. And whoever you are, you just drew the company's attention. Kairo squeezed her shoulder, pride burning in his chest. Meeting adjourned. Except G1. Stay. Everyone filed out in silence. G1 remained, terror bleeding through her composure. Kairo circled G1 like a shark. Why did I find your signature on the Shanghai route change? G1's composure cracked. That wasn't. Don't. Kairo's voice went soft. Deadly. I have security footage. You authorized the change 36 hours before the attack. Sweat beaded her forehead. Explain. He raged, anger surged through him, but turning to Amina, he softened a bit. They have my daughter. Ji-won's voice shattered. 2 months ago. They took her. They said I should cooperate or she dies. Her hands trembled as she spoke. Who? I don't know. Only encrypted messages. One came at 2:14 a.m. Just coordinates and threats. Kairo turned to Amina. Testing her. Teaching her. What do you think? Amina's throat tightened. This was a test. In Kairo's world, betrayal meant death. Always. But she looked at Ji-won. A mother whose world was being used against her. If this was a setup, would Amina's compassion become the trap? They asked for a signature, and she signed with shaking hands. Amina's voice was quiet, certain. A mother protecting her child isn't the enemy. The people who took her daughter are. Kairo studied her for a long moment, then pulled out his phone. Minjae, find her daughter. 12 hours. Ji-won's eyes filled with tears. You'll find her. I'll find her. Then I'll make them pay for every second she was afraid. His voice went arctic. But Ji-won, Amina is the only reason you're breathing. Betray me again and mercy dies. Thank you, she said, turning to Amina with shaking hands. Get out. Kairo yelled. When the door closed, Kairo turned to Amina. You think I'm being soft? No. Strategic. She stepped closer. A forced traitor is different from a willing one. You just earned her loyalty, I guess. He moved toward her, something dark flickering in his eyes. You're learning fast. You're a good teacher. He cupped her face with hands that had killed 100 men. I just made you a target. Everyone in my organization knows now you have my ear. My trust. My protection. They'll come for you, and I would know my enemies. I know. Amina smiled. She had hated acting the bait. And it doesn't scare you? You scare me, she admitted, voice shaking. The way you burn the world if someone hurt me. That terrifies me more, Kairo. Because I want you to. His thumb traced her lip. Mine. Every breath. Every thought. Yes. He kissed her deeply. She had no idea what was coming for her. Later that night, Kairo took her to the underworld club. It was the Obsidian. The club existed in Seoul's darkest corner. Through an unmarked alley door down concrete steps that smelled like blood and money, the bass pulsed like a dying heartbeat. This was where deals were made, where territories were divided, where power was the only currency. Kairo kept Amina close as whispers spread like wildfire. Kairo Leon brought a woman. Kairo Leon has a weakness from a weakling. They reached a private booth overlooking the main floor. Kairo pulled Amina onto his lap despite the empty seats around them, claiming her, showing everyone. Every person here knows survival, he murmured against her ear. And they're all wondering if you're strong enough to survive beside me. What do you think? Amina smiled. I think you're the strongest person I've ever met. His hand tightened on her waist. But here you need to be feared, respected, ruthless. Amina smiled again, a smile he'd never seen before. Something dark bloomed behind her eyes. Kairo's breath caught. Careful what you wish for, baby. Then someone approached. A woman. Tall, elegant, lethal. Red dress like spilled blood. As like winter. Tattoos crawled up her arms like poison ivy. Kairo. Her voice purred. It's been too long. Kairo went rigid beneath Amina. Seo-yun. Seo-yun's gaze shifted to Amina with pure venom. Your new toy. Watch. Your mouth. Kairo's voice went deadly quiet. Seo-yun laughed, sharp, breaking glass. Did he tell you about us? About how I bled for him when his empire was rubble. When the Kim syndicate came for him and he had nothing, I gave him everything. Seo-yun is my chief enforcer, Kairo said coldly, trying to ensure that he covered up. I wanted to meet the woman who thinks she owns him. Seo-yun leaned closer, voice dropping. You think you own him? I forged him. Seo-yun's smile turned cruel. She leaned close to Amina, voice dropping to a whisper only the three of them could hear. Before this little dancer spread her legs and made him forget who he is. Kairo moved, a blur of violence. One moment seated. Next, he had Seo-yun by the throat against the wall, feet dangling. The entire club went silent. It was the job for his men, but Seo-yun was beyond their reach. Say one more word about her, he whispered with deadly calm, and I'll forget we have history. I'll forget your loyalty. I'll forget everything except that you disrespected what's mine. Seo-yun smiled through choking. She's made you weak, Kairo. Everyone sees it. The mighty Kairo Leon brought to his knees. He released her. She stumbled back, gasping. Get out. Before I do something we'll both regret. Seo-yun straightened her dress with a smile that had teeth. Her eyes locked on Amina with a promise. Watch your back, little dancer. This world eats girls like you for breakfast. She disappeared into the crowd. But her threat lingered like smoke. Amina released a breath she didn't know she was holding. She hates me already? She's jealous. Kairo sat down, pulling Amina back onto his lap, hand possessive on her thigh. Seo-yun wanted me for years. I never wanted her back. She's dangerous, but then I do not think I am afraid of that. Yes. One of the most dangerous people in my organization. Ruthless, too. He paused. Until now. You think she'll come after me? I think she'll try. His hand cupped her face, forcing her to look at him. And when she does, I'll make an example this city will never forget. Amina saw real fear in his eyes. Fear for her. I'm not afraid of her. You should be. She knows my world inside out. My weaknesses. My enemies. But Amina only smiled again. Something flickered in Kairo's eyes. A mix of pride and desire. You really are perfect for me. Dangerous and beautiful and completely insane. I learned from the best. They left an hour later, the city sprawling below them like broken glass. As they walked to the car, Amina felt eyes tracking her. She looked back once. Seo-yun stood in the alley shadows. Watching. Waiting. And Amina knew exactly what would happen next. 3 weeks later. By day, Amina ran Leon Global with ruthless efficiency. Restructured divisions. Fired corrupt managers. Implemented security protocols that made grown men nervous. The board learned quickly. She wasn't just Kairo's lover. She was brilliant. Decisive. Unforgiving. By night, Kairo trained her. The basement shooting range. The private gym. The rooftop where Seoul glittered below. In my world, he told her as they sparred, sweat dripping. Mercy is weakness. Hesitation is death. She blocked his punch, countering with her own. What about mercy for you? He caught her fist, pulling her close. Their faces inches apart. If I ever threaten you, you destroy me. I'd rather die by your hand than live without you. The obsession grew darker each day. Kairo couldn't go hours without touching her. knowing where she was. He appointed his best guards to her. But trust was not a grain of sand, and she let him, because it wasn't about control. It was about terror, of losing her the way he'd lost his sister. Yuna's death had broken something inside him that even 12 years couldn't fix. Until Amina. But Seo-yeon watched, and waited, and planned. Inside Seo-yeon's apartment, photos of Amina spread across the table like a serial killer's shrine. Outside Lyon Global, Kairo's penthouse, Obsidian, the hospital, the gym. You don't belong in his world, Seo-yeon whispered to the photos. Too soft, too weak, too clean. 12 years she'd given Kairo. 12 years of loyalty, killing for him, torturing his enemies, standing by him through gang wars and federal investigations. She'd carried him through the worst night of his life when Yuna died, when even his own men couldn't reach him, and he was a ghost drowning in whiskey and rage. She'd been there when no one else could touch him, but her touch wasn't enough, and she'd waited for him to heal, to finally see her. Then Amina walked in, and in 3 months accomplished what Seo-yeon couldn't in 12 years. She made Kairo feel again. Seo-yeon picked up her phone. It's time. I want her gone. She barked in regret. Her smile was cruel. Break her. I want Kairo to see how fragile she really is. When she's destroyed, he'll finally understand who he belongs with. The voice on the other end confirmed the plan. Seo-yeon hung up, heart racing with sick excitement. Soon Amina Dubé would learn what it meant to be part of Kairo Leon's world. And it would destroy her. 3 days later. Early morning. Han River jogging path. Amina ran along the riverside trail, earbuds in, breathing steady. Dawn light painted the water gold. Her security detail followed at a distance. 3 men in black, always watching, never close enough to suffocate her. Kairo had insisted. She'd agreed. Small price for the life they were building. She rounded a corner near the bridge, slowing to catch her breath. The path was empty except for a man, standing directly in her path. Hands in pockets. Waiting. Amina's blood went cold. Marcus. Her ex-boyfriend. The man she'd fled from 2 years ago with nothing but bruises and terror. The man who'd smiled while he hurt her. Who'd cheated, lied, controlled every breath she took. Who'd put her in the hospital twice and convinced her it was love. She'd changed her number. Changed her apartment. Changed her entire life to escape him. And now he stood there, that familiar predatory smile spreading across his face. Amina. His voice was silk over razors. Been a long time, baby. She took a step back. Her security detail was 50 meters behind. Unaware. Marcus. I have to go. Go. He laughed, stepping closer. After 2 years of hiding from me? After you just disappeared like I meant nothing? His smile vanished. We're going to talk. Now. I don't want to talk to you. I don't care what you want. He grabbed her wrist, fingers digging in like claws. You embarrassed me. Made me look weak. Do you know what I went through trying to find you? Amina tried to pull away. His grip tightened, bruising. Let go. You don't give me orders. His other hand moved to her throat, familiar territory. You think you can just run? Think you can just start a new life and forget about me? Fear spiked through her veins. The same fear that had lived in her bones for 3 years. The fear that made her small and silent and obedient. But something was different now. She wasn't that woman anymore. I said let go. Her voice was ice. The voice she used in boardrooms. The voice Kairo had taught her. Marcus laughed, squeezing harder. Or what? You gonna cry? Beg? That's what you're good at, remember? Crying, Anne. The slap cracked across his face like a gunshot. Marcus's head snapped sideways, shock freezing his features. His hand released her wrist. Amina stood there, hand still raised, breathing hard. Don't ever touch me again. For 3 seconds Marcus just stared. Then rage twisted his face into something ugly. You bitch! He raised his hand to strike back, arm swinging with all his strength. His fist never landed. A hand caught his wrist midair. Iron grip. Impossible to break. Marcus turned, confusion flashing to terror. One of Amina's security guards stood there, June, the quiet one who never smiled. 6'3" of pure muscle and cold efficiency. He held Marcus's wrist like it was made of paper. Bad choice, June said quietly. Then he twisted. The crack echoed across the river. Marcus screamed, dropping to his knees. June released him, stepping back into position. Marcus cradled his broken wrist, face white with pain and shock. You can't. Do you know who I am? We know exactly who you are. Another guard appeared, Day, the team leader. He pulled out his phone, showing Marcus a photo. Marcus-chan. 27 assault complaints. 2 hospitalizations. 16 restraining orders that you violated. The third guard, Minho, circled behind Marcus, cutting off escape routes. Marcus looked between them, realization dawning. Who are you people? We work for someone very interested in meeting you. Day's smile was empty. Get him in the car. Wait, no, you can't just. Marcus tried to scramble away. June grabbed him by the collar, lifting him like a child. Marcus kicked and struggled, but it was useless. They moved toward a black SUV that had appeared on the access road. Amina watched, heart pounding. Part of her wanted to stop this. Part of her wanted to watch him disappear. Miss Amina. Day turned to her, respectful. We'll take you home. The boss will handle this. Where are you taking him? Home. The boss is waiting. Marcus's eyes went wide with fresh terror. Boss? What boss? Amina, please tell them we used to. We used to nothing. Her voice was cold. You used to hit me. Used to control me. Used to make me wish I was dead. That's what we used to do. She turned to Day. Take me home. I want to be there when Kairo meets him. Day nodded. Yes, ma'am. They drove Marcus separately. His screaming muffled behind tinted windows. Amina rode in her own vehicle, June driving, her mind racing. Kairo was going to kill him. She knew it with absolute certainty. And she didn't know if she wanted to stop him. 30 minutes later. Kairo's estate. The compound sat in the hills outside Seoul. 15 acres of security, luxury, and secrets. Marcus was dragged through a side entrance, down concrete steps into the basement level that didn't appear on any blueprint. Amina arrived as they were securing Marcus to a chair in the center of an empty room. Concrete walls. Drain in the floor. The kind of room designed for things that needed to be washed away. Marcus was crying now, broken wrist cradled against his chest. Please, I didn't know, she never said. Didn't know what? The voice came from the shadows. Kairo stepped into the light. He wore a black suit, hands in pockets, expression utterly calm. But his eyes held murder. Marcus went silent. Instinct recognizing apex predator. Kairo circled him slowly, studying him like an insect. Marcus-chan. 32 years old. Failed businessman. Gambling addict. Woman beater. He stopped in front of Marcus. Do I have that right? I don't. Who are you? I'm the man whose wife you put your hands on this morning. Kairo's voice was soft. Deadly. I'm the man whose wife you terrorized for 3 years. I'm the man whose wife you sent to the hospital twice. Marcus's face went white. Your wife. But she was just, we were together. You were never together. You were a parasite. She was your victim. Kairo leaned down,